Well, I just became a free agent January 1st. What is today? The 18th. So although, I'm checking out the options, blah, blah, blah.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all you champions out there, welcome to the Champions Podcast. We have two very special guests. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Nick, or Jamie, either one that you want to call me. Over to my left is my wife, Renee. Say hi, Renee.
Three left. Right here. Hi, I'm Renee.
Yes, and this is my wrestling wife, Mr. Tom Latimer.
Don't tell anybody.
And his real-life wife, Miss Kaylee.
Miss Kamille, yes.
Miss Kamille, yes, absolutely. Guys, thank you so much. This is our second big profile podcast.
Interview,
so,
yep.
Yeah, so we're going to try to not mess it up, so please bear with us.
Thank you guys so much.
Super high profile with us.
Who was the first one, or did we talk about that before we started rolling?
We talked about that.
yeah.
He
Say
who
no
shall
more.
not be named.
Yeah.
For all anybody knows, you guys are the
Yeah, we're the first.
Yeah,
You're
you're the
number one.
first.
She
Yeah,
said
we're-
number
yeah.
one.
We're the first.
You are the first one, so
That's
big
it.
honor.
The first one was first was a practice.
Yes.
Now it's game time, baby.
So we're so pumped to have you guys here, and also living closer to us now. So selfishly,
I
we're
know.
excited to have you back in Florida. So welcome back.
Thank you. I'm excited that we're literally right around the corner. We didn't know that when we found the place, and then you put it in the GPS, and there you go.
I asked Nick, I'm like, do you think that they looked, like how close they are?
No, I had no clue.
Yeah, so you are behind the corner from us. So.
This was meant to be.
Yeah.
So this will not be the last time on the podcast or the last time you're seen on any of our socials.
Nope,
Yeah,
you guys are stuck here, so
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
we're not letting you go.
Yeah, we've been talking about being here for a long time, haven't we?
Absolutely.
Both of us. So finally, after a year or so, we've followed you down.
Yeah. Well, we've been waiting for you, so we're super excited. Man, just we've been waiting to open this place forever. It seems like, and now that we have it open, that you guys are down here, it's kind of like everything's come to fruition. It's kind of full circle,
Yeah, because we met y'all in Tennessee.
Yes.
So this is like, and how
Met in
many?
Tennessee. Me and Tom met in Tennessee, but we both lived in Florida
Well,
and didn't know each other existed, right?
Yeah.
And so it's super weird.
so when was that? What year did you move to Tennessee?
2000. It was actually like New
19?
Year's. It was like New Year's going into 2019.
Okay.
So it was like 2018 December 31st, and then January 1st, 2019. I was there.
Tell them when you originally saw me in Florida.
No.
I love it.
I just remember at one point there was a Gold's Gym that was near International. Is that
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. It
Universal,
used to be a
yep.
Gold's Gym. I don't think it is anymore.
Okay.
And I was doing cardio. I think I was on the stair stepper, so I had a good view of the whole floor. And I see a guy walking in to the side. I remember he had like a weird like blonde streak in his hair, and I'm definitely not into that, But
Was it long at the time?
yeah, but I mean, it was in a pub, but he had like a headband on.
Okay.
And I was like, he's good looking. And then we ended up both in the stretching room at the same time, but like he was like way over there and I was over here, and that was that. I didn't know it was.
What a way to make that sound boring.
Do you have a different take of this?
I thought he was hot. He knows that, but he was. I didn't know who he was. It wasn't until like years later that I realized, like, oh, that was you in the gym that day.
Well, it must have made a big impression if you remembered that it was him years later.
Yeah. Well, because he has such pretty eyes. I remembered his pretty eyes.
He does have very.
Can we
pretty
get a
eyes.
close up?
Yeah, zoom in on his eyes.
They're probably a bloodshot right now.
They're not actually. Mine are probably more than yours because I am
Bring on
exhausted.
zero sleep. But yeah, I didn't notice you at all. But
So
There
I
you
didn't
go.
know that. So you saw him in Florida before you guys met in Tennessee. I always was under the assumption that you met in Tennessee.
I mean, we did meet.
Technically, yes.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
I
But
just remember-
she'd already got eyes on me in a previous life.
Of course.
Uh-huh.
Love at first sight.
Right.
But you did not see her and
I
didn't know.
didn't know. No,
Okay.
she's a lot. But sometimes we'd after when the Impact was taped at Universal Studios, we'd sometimes work out there,
Yeah.
and so somehow.
But he did say down the line that he used to see me on Facebook.
I'd find her on Facebook, yeah, and I was like, Well, it's not very PG, so we'll leave it there.
He
But
didn't
yeah,
message me. He
she's-
didn't message me or anything, so obviously he was just creeping.
No, I wasn't creeping. If I was creeping, I'd have messaged you. I was being an upstanding citizen.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
obviously.
Of course.
But yeah, no, we met in an NWA event, didn't we?
Pop up.
That's when I
January 4th,
that's
2019.
that's when I was a creep.
Yeah, but that's because Nick gave you the Iggy.
Right, a friend of mine. Yeah, he gave me the heads up. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what true friends do.
So how were you a creep? What did you do on that night?
Well, he had already sort of explained the situation, so I just followed up on it.
So the night before the actual show, we did like a press conference.
And meet and greet type.
Yeah, and a
thing.
meet and greet.
Were you on the show?
Yes.
Okay.
I was still Nick's second at that point. And Tom hit me up on Facebook and said, "Hey, are you gonna be there tonight?" or something like that. Like, looking forward to meeting you. Something like that.
Not too creepy.
No, it was no, it was
Very
nice.
polite.
But I will
Respectful.
say, hold on, let me put myself over a little bit. So he thought that he was going to meet me that night, and I was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna play a little bit harder to get than that. So I just snuck out of because at the meet and greet, like people were like hanging around and talking, drinking, whatever. And I just snuck out, and then I get a message later like, "Hey, where'd you go? Did you leave?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got to get to bed. We got a big day tomorrow." And so I made him wait.
Yes, make him work for it.
One day.
Yeah,
like
one day. Yeah. Oh, bloody hell.
Longest night of your life.
But I'd been in the UK for a year because once I'd left Impact Wrestling, I could wrestle full time. I didn't have any reason to be in the States, meaning I wasn't under contract to anybody. So the wrestling at that time was pretty hot in the UK. I could make a full-time living. I mean, it wasn't great, but it was a living, independently wrestling. So I spent that whole year in the UK doing that. And then when Billy started up the NWA and Crimson opened up Tried and True. Oh, sorry, he was already doing the school, and I needed a reason to come back because I knew the NWA was starting, but I also needed something else wrestling related to sort
And
of.
Sam was actually going to be the head coach, wasn't he?
That's right. Yeah.
At TNT.
Yes,
Yeah.
at TNT,
okay.
but then he got hired, so it
Dexter.
was like,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I slid in his position. And that's where we met.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I met Bram in 2019. I think early 2019 when I went up to Clarksville for Tried and True. He was the head trainer, and I walked in there, and once again, it was love at first sight. So
Yeah, that's true.
Can
Yeah.
I tell a side story to that? I remember because we were living in south of Nashville, so that was a good hour and a half drive.
That was a
How
long drive
How
for
long
you.
had you guys been in Nashville, though?
So I had lived in Nashville since 2012.
And I was 2013, yeah.
So it'd been a while then.
yeah, 6-7 years.
because you would drive there and back.
like
three
three
times
times
a
a week.
week.
Yeah.
The one thing
Yes.
about Nick, I'll say, is there's many amazing qualities, but his work ethic and hunger has always impressed me.
Oh well, thank you.
We can end the podcast now. He's done what we've asked.
All right, that's a wrap.
No, edit that part out. But sorry, go on.
Yeah, so he, I remember he went up to Tried and True. I don't remember how you found out about the school, to be honest,
Yeah, I
because
think
you were training with someone else, and then Tried and True popped up, but you decided to go. And I remember you were, I don't know if he met you there and realized you were the coach, or if he had found out before, but he came home and was so excited. He's like, "You'll never believe who the coach
big
is."
Jack. Guy.
Sorry, mate.
But it really was love at first sight, at least for Nick. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, no, I was hooked at that point. That's why I drove 4 hours every day just for you, brother.
That's great. Because I mean, you don't get that nowadays. I mean, at least I don't think that you do. Like I when I was breaking in, it'd take me all day catching several buses, public transport in the UK to get to where I was to wrestle on mats on a concrete floor for a few hours. I'd do that every Sunday, and I'd have walked over broken glass or done whatever I could have been to get that or more. So it's again a testament to you doing all that, because nowadays it's expected and it's normalized and everyone's sort of lazy, it seems.
Yeah.
Well, they want it right away, and it doesn't work like that. This job doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I feel like nowadays the good thing is that like anybody can be a pro wrestler, but the bad thing is that anybody can be a pro
definitely.
wrestler.
Bingo.
So, but speaking of training, I know that you've been a trainer at multiple different places. I guess when you were younger, when you were breaking into the business, did you ever see yourself as a trainer, especially as still being like an active wrestler?
No, I didn't, and I think it was just circumstance that put me in that position where we met. However, I'm glad that it was something I don't think there's ever a point when you're a professional wrestler. I'm sure if you were to speak to sort of like Ricky Morton and a few of those guys, they pretty much know what they're doing. You know what I mean? But I don't know if you ever really fully grasp and understand it. I'm still learning now, and I've been doing it 20 odd years. So there's definitely a level of feeling slightly fraudish, doing it just because, who am I to be doing any of these things? However, I always think, well, it could be worse. It could be, someone else or whatever, right? And I know the people that first had the hands on me, great people, but had no business at all, teaching me. Sure. But no, it wasn't something that I was thinking about doing, but it was something then that once I realized, okay, it's not that bad. Oh, okay, I can, just like you, right? I mean, you already had previous training, but being able to see you, because I would hang my hat on you, you're one in a million when it comes to picking it up, work ethic, the way that you look, all those things, right? But because if everyone was like you, I'd have an easy job, But ultimately, like once you see people change and evolve and get better, and there's a level of giving back, it feels special. Sure. I can't do this forever, but I can sure ride people's coattails.
Yeah, well, I think you're doing more than that. Especially with because you trained at TNT for a little bit too. That wasn't your first training school, right?
I trained at Team 3D down here. That's why I moved to Florida in the first place. But then I started working the indies for a little bit. And I got kind of disenchanted with the industry, so I stopped for a bit. And then when I got brought back into NWA, I still didn't know if I wanted to wrestle at that point, and that's why the role with Nick was so good, because it was not in ring, but it was still around the industry to kind of like dip my toe back in. And then probably after a few months of doing that, Billy Corrigan was like, "We want to invest in you as a wrestler, and you come and like wrestle down the line." And they had Tom train me, but at that point Tom and I were already great friends.
Yeah, we're of age, so it's fine.
Well, let's talk about that. What was it like training her, and then vice versa?
I hated it at first.
Yeah, Kaylee didn't enjoy it. No,
yeah. It was just weird. Like, it's someone that you have like feelings for and that you are involved with, and then he's trying to tell you what to do. It's like, you know what I mean? It's for anyone out there who's ever maybe worked with a parent or something in sports. Like, you'll listen to every other coach, but you don't want to listen to your parent. You know what I mean? And that's maybe a weird analogy because he's not my parent, but it's a similar involvement. You know what I mean?
Oh, I completely understand.
Yeah.
If Nick tries to give me a meal plan,
Yeah.
Nope.
World War III in the house.
No, I get that. And so what was it like for you training her?
Well, it was only for a short duration of time. It wasn't long at all. Probably a month or two. So, and by that point, you were kind of doing your own thing anyway. So it was more just sort of getting a little bit of the rust off, wasn't it? It wasn't, you already, knew kind of more or less what you were doing. So it was more just getting it in there and rolling around and getting used to doing that, and also getting used to doing it when there's no cameras on.
Well, I was going to say not feeling silly, because I still, to this day, struggle with...
you got to practice how you play.
Something, because I've always, I will say, and even like Nick said this the one time, I'm very much like a red light, camera on, game time player. But I do think there's something to be said to kind of getting out of your head, and while you're in, training, to do it how you're going to do it.
It's a lot harder to do it.
It's just, it's kind of, wrestling can feel silly. And it's just, but then I'm like, Kaylee, everyone else is selling their butt off and not feeling silly. Like, why should you feel silly,
I get
Did you have elements, because you were an incredible softball player. Did you have elements of that in softball, or like, was it just completely different, right? Because I'm assuming in softball you'd practice, like,
no, but
play.
I loved, and well, the thing is too, with softball, it is a team sport, but you can work like I would do T work every day, and that's an individual thing. No one's watching me do it. You know what I'm saying? So where in wrestling, like, you need another. I mean, there's certain like cardio and stuff you can do by yourself, but for the most part, you need another body.
Yeah.
And so it's just the fact that we don't like using the F word around here, but it's we're not trying to hurt
If
each
it
other,
slips,
right?
Kaylee, we'll bleep you.
Yeah, we're not trying to hurt each other, and so it was just learning how to get out of the. Really, just feeling silly is the only way to describe it.
Yeah.
No, I get it. I mean, we fight in our undies, so I mean, it's pretty silly, you know.
This is a very, very serious sport, okay?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm going to remember that when you're yelling at the students. Take it serious.
Take it seriously. You'll be in your undies one day, and you'll be thanking me
Yeah.
in front of the camera.
Yeah, totally.
So let's talk about NWA a little bit. How did you both end up in NWA?
Well, I'd a lot of the time as well. The job is who you know.
Yes.
You could be the most talented, gifted person in the world, but if no one knows you exist, then you know it is what it is. But I'd already obviously had a relationship with Nick Aldis, you know, being very, very close friends with him, and he was the champ at the time and sort of taking it on the road before there was a promotion. He would go to independent events and all that, and you know, have people challenge for it. And it was just sort of like getting the word out that the NWA, even though it didn't have a promotion behind it, you know, it was trying to gather some steam and momentum. Anyway. So, and obviously I knew Nick from years before we even both got to America, and then Nick helped me get into Impact Wrestling too. And while I was at Impact, Billy had showed up a couple of times, and he just sort of hang out, and then he ended up getting involved and helping produce and things like that. And so we had already sort of created a friendship before he even really had his fingers on anything that was going on there. And so, you know, we got on really, really well. Had I have known he was going to be my boss down the line, I might not have told him everything. But, I mean, we became close, and that helped, you know, open the door for it. Once I knew that something was going to go on and there was something valid to come back to, it was kind of talked about. It wasn't kind of talked about. It was sort of an automatic thing that I would come in there and become, you know, part of the NWA.
How about you?
And then for me, there used to be a guy that I forgot his like technical position, but he was Billy's right-hand man, Dave Lagana, and he was always keeping an eye out on new talent and stuff. And so he knew of me like when I was down in Florida, and he just, I remember, sent me a message one time, and it was like, hey, are you really done with wrestling? And at that point, I was kind of missing it.
Because you were doing what? Sorry, tangent, but was this the LFL?
You were back home.
Was I back home?
Yeah, you were back at your parents'.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was. Yeah. I, you know, I was in a previous relationship, and I got out of that, and I was like, I'm moving back home. I just need a reset. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, I was back home, and when I got that message, and I was like, I remember I just messaged him back, and I was like, why? What you got? Like, what are you thinking? And then he explained it to me, and like I said, it was such a, like, okay, I'm not having to get back into the ring. It's a great. We didn't even know if it was just gonna be, because basically I was gonna be Nick's insurance policy for his match against Cody, because Cody had Brandy Rhodes, and so we thought that maybe it's just gonna be a one-off just for that event, because it was NWA's first kind of big pay-per-view, like coming back into this like new era, like of Lightning One era, and we just thought it was really a cool dynamic that no one was doing at the time, and we just kind of went from there. I remember I pulled Nick aside at NWA 70, and this was before anything happened, and I was like, hey, I need to talk to you. And he was like, what was wrong? Like, what's going on? And he thought something really bad was going to happen. I was like, do you see this like going more than today, or like, what do you think? And he was like, and he, you know, he's very much, if you know Nick, he's a good talker, right? So he didn't want to say anything wrong or anything. He was just like, you know, we'll see how it goes tonight and just go from there. But it ended up being a super cool dynamic. And then, I mean, I was his silent insurance policy for 2 years.
I remember that era.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch.
They really screwed me on that one, guys, because everyone thought I was going to be British.
Oh.
Because I was around the Brits, or like Russian, like something very like stoic. And then I started talking, and I'm country, and everyone was like, oh, what
Southern
the hell?
country.
Yeah, like, That did not what I was expecting, but sorry to disappoint with my natural way of speaking.
So wrestling has a way of tricking you. When you just thought you were out, they pull you right back in.
Oh,
So
yeah.
They kind of got you with that, didn't
And
they?
you know how it is, because
Yeah.
you played sports too. It's like, unfortunately, there is nothing else like wrestling that will give you that feeling of wrestling. So yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. I kind of compare it to like a gang. Like, you're never really out of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're always kind
The
of in.
mob.
Yeah, like you're always kind of in.
So you guys it was 2019 when you said you met, right? So 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been working together, really,
For 5 years.
for 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's obviously it worked out. Y'all got married and are happily married. But
Yes.
what's it been like working together as a married couple? We do it. We know what
Yeah,
it's like.
yeah.
But what's it like specifically, as wrestlers?
Well, I guess we don't know any different.
Yeah, that's changed now.
Yeah,
but
so-
yeah, it's been fun. It's been nice. It's been good to be able to travel together and spend time and I mean, it just helps that we both do the same thing, so we both understand it. But it might not work for everybody, but it's worked for us.
I do think it helps, and this is so cliche, but as I've kind of alluded to, when we first got together, we definitely were just friends, and we just, we were hanging out, and we just became such good friends, like legit, and that we just liked each other's company. And then it turned into love, and and so it's like like you said, we like hanging out with each other. We like being together.
And yeah, and even if we're at wrestling too, it's not like we're together. We might be together for a
True, yeah. During
for
the
a
day
segment,
at stuff,
or
we're not.
but yeah, in the
out.
day I barely see you.
Yeah.
So we're always so busy doing
We're doing our own things backstage.
Yeah.
So yeah, it works for us. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see now that there's you're no longer with us,
Yeah,
you enemy.
yeah.
Do you guys feel like you had to, because you bring up an interesting point, you work together, but you actually weren't together that much when you're at work. And we find the same thing. We get home at the end of the night, we're like, we haven't even talked.
Yeah.
Like, how
It's
was
not
your
quality
day?
time.
not.
That's
Yeah.
the thing, and that's what we've talked about too.
I
is-
had to learn what quality
yeah,
time was.
because Tom.
Is that your love language?
No, it's not. But it is well, touch is mine, right? And so that's
Those
what
are
I'm
my
saying.
top two.
Yeah, and so it's like we're not together all day. Sometimes I just need a hug, right? You know what I mean? And not for anything bad. It's just that's what I need. And where was I going with this? Sorry, this happens
It
sometimes.
was me.
No, I was saying, do you have
learning.
to find time to like schedule in?
Oh,
Like, let's
Tom.
connect.
Okay, Tom thinks because we usually will go to the gym around like the same time, but we literally drive separate cars just because our workouts are different and the lengths of time.
get that.
Yep.
Yeah, and Tom thinks like being in the gym at the same time, not talking is quality. I'm like, bro, is
Both of them looked at each other like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Being on
You can spot me if you want, but yeah, that's about it.
being on the couch together to me, I mean, anytime we're together, it's quality. But I didn't realize what she meant. Quality means
Yeah.
like more than that.
Yeah, that's kind of the same with you, I feel like, because quality time is one of yours. But for me, I'm like, okay, quality time, we always have to like schedule something. We have to be out doing
it's
something.
it is. It's
Yeah.
a scheduled like date, and
Yeah.
it feels like you're putting effort, and you know. It's once again that cliche, like you should always keep dating. Like I think
Yes.
you know what I mean.
And we did go to your sushi place last Monday.
Yeah, that's why we had a date
Yes.
night. That's why when we
And-
moved here, especially knowing that we're not working together anymore, we said we're like that has to be a thing we stick to. Is every Sunday or Monday or whenever it falls in the schedule, we have date night.
That's great.
That place is great.
So you went to the place we recommended.
Yeah.
We
Okay,
did.
did you get a boat?
No.
How many did you get? How many rolls?
We got a massive plate.
Yeah, but we got. I
Okay.
got. Oh, my phone. I didn't bring a phone to so I'm not tempted to be on it. But I have a picture. I'll show you guys.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our favorite
So
place.
No, it's
I'm
great.
worried though that when we go together, we won't have a table big enough.
Oh, they're gonna have to get a barge. Like a boat ain't gonna even
I know.
fit.
'Cause
We
it's-
did have a very
we had to wait.
interesting waiter, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
I've never had such a waiter.
but
It was good though.
The food is just incredible.
Yeah.
This is Bay Ridge Sushi.
But
in
don't tell
Longwood,
everybody.
Florida.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
no, it's terrible.
No,
Don't
it's
go there
so
on Monday.
Yeah, it's
bad.
bad. Don't go there.
Yeah.
Especially on Mondays.
Doesn't
Yes,
have the
but
best
Mondays
happy
is
hour.
The worst
It's
day
the,
to
yeah,
go.
the worst leftovers, everything. But kind of touching back on like you guys aren't necessarily working together all the time anymore. what has been the hardest thing, or what do you think could be the hardest thing with like managing two busy schedules that don't like intertwine anymore?
Well, I just became a free agent January 1st. What is today? The 18th. So although I'm checking out the options, blah blah blah, it's not like I'm on a new schedule yet, so we don't even know what that looks like yet. But that's why we kind of wanted to be proactive, and that's why we said, like, okay, we're gonna have to stick to this and make sure we have a date night and stuff like that. And I'm sure once we get started, you're gonna have to figure out the kinks as you go. But it just,
Yeah, I think because we've had a lot of time generally without crazy schedules, even if we're not doing anything together, we're still home together a lot or whatever. I think that, I feel like it will be a bit of a change, but I feel like when you've got no choice and you have to do it, you'll just get on with it and you'll make it work.
and because we were talking about too, it's like, we've been together 5 years. We have such a good foundation that it'd be a little bit different if this was like month 6 of being together. You know what I'm saying? But
Absolutely.
it's just like once you have a good foundation, you can really figure out anything.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. So, do you guys still plan on like training together or doing anything like that, like in the ring? Now that you have differing schedules, or
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably roll around a little bit. I know that I need to, if I'm gonna have opening this school with Sam. I know that I need to, if I'm gonna be forcing people to do squats and drop down and run the ropes and all that, I need to be able to make sure that I can do it too. I can't be yelling at people to do things that I can't do.
well, all the other trainers do that.
I know, right? But I don't want to be that.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's good just to roll around and get your body used to being beaten up a lot, because
yes.
the amount of time that we don't wrestle that often, and so it's easy to lose your calluses. It's easy to get blown up real quick again after you've got good.
Blown up, and it's kind of different than what you would think it'd be, because at least for Tom and I, we've noticed when we think, oh, we need some time off to let our body rest, it actually hurts worse when we get back to bumping instead of just keeping it going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can spend a day laying around and it's like I've been in a car for 72 hours and then taken a million bumps. Like, I think that it's going to feel good, and I feel like I need to do it, but it makes me worse. I have to keep moving. Otherwise, my body is just not my friend.
Yeah, it's something about, like, on my off days, I'm the same way. Like, I have less energy. For some reason, I'm more sore. So I think there's something to be said about getting up and, letting the blood move and your body move and warm up like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate it, but it's got to be done,
As much as I'd like to just stay in bed and eat sushi. I mean,
Yeah. Donuts, yeah.
You mentioned the school. Do you want to talk about the school?
Yeah, sure. We're opening up a new school called Hatchet Pro Wrestling in St. Augustine, Florida, just down the road from Jacksonville. I feel like there's not a lot of wrestling. I don't think there's any other schools there. I don't think there's any shows there, and so we're not. I don't feel like we're stepping on anybody's toes, but it's going to be me going to be training there. It's going to be Dexter Loomis, Sam Shaw, and John Davis. And we're kind of hoping that that's a winning formula, considering there's 3 of us from different backgrounds. We've come up through the job differently. We work for different places. I'm English. I was taught the British style of pro wrestling. So even though I might not apply that, I still remember it and can teach that. And then Sam's obviously had his own journey. And then John, too, who's a guy that's been sort of king of the indies and FIP, Dragon Gate Evolve, all that kind of stuff. He's a guy that did all that kind of stuff, whereas me and Sam didn't really have that sort of independent aspect.
I also, on Twitter the other day, there was a thing, and it was like trying to spread positivity, and it was basically talking about like tag someone that like a veteran that really helped you out when you first got in. And I've been on shows with John and stuff, but I didn't know much about him. But I will say on that thread, a lot of people tagged John.
nice.
That
Love
he was
that.
that he was super helpful when they first got started, and like just getting them through a match and stuff like that. So I was like, because once again I didn't even know a lot about John, but when I saw that I was like, oh, that's a great fit then for to be a trainer, because everyone is saying that he was very giving and helpful when they were first coming up.
Yeah, good guy to have on your team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that and then also the fact that Sam's affiliated to the WWE, I'm affiliated to the NWA, John with all the independents and all that as well. It's also, you've obviously got to be trained right and be in the position to be given opportunities, but at least we also have an into bigger and better places if and when that time, happens for everybody. But yeah, we're excited. We start on the 23rd of January.
Awesome.
It's 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursdays, the nights. But check out hatchetprowrestling.com. I think we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram. Hit up me. Probably don't hit up Sam, but hit up John. And if you do hit up Sam, I'm sure it will find its way to me, and I will answer you. But we're excited about it. It's something that we've been waiting to do for a while. So,
Are there any spots remaining for this first one? I don't know. This might come out a little bit late. Do they have to sign up prior to the start, or?
We're ironing out the kinks right now. I want to say, at any point, if that's something you're interested in, get your applications in, and we'll figure it out from there.
Great.
But it's sort of an open door at the moment. We would like to get to the point where that will change, but right now we're just kind of going through the trial and error phase.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, and I've seen photos on social media of the facility. They've got 2 rings, looks like.
2 rings.
Two full-size rings. The facility looks beautiful. Obviously, you have world-class training. You get to go and roll around with this big, beautiful man. So if you guys are in the Jacksonville or St. Augustine area, absolutely, Hatch and Pro Wrestling. Definitely check them out.
We'll put the link in the box below as well. So if you're interested, just hit them up, like you said.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Well, I think it's good time for some quick hitters.
Yeah, I have a fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is totally off topic, but I remember I was hoping you'd bring Yuki for this podcast.
Well, what's funny is because I just got home and I missed her so much, and she was so happy to see me. I love seeing Tom when I get home, but I will say that Yuki gives me more energy, so I'm probably more.
I did brush her yesterday, but
that's why. It's because there's so much black around and she's shedding so bad. I was like, I'm not gonna bring her because
you're leading into my question perfectly.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. So I remember because we've known you for a while now. Yeah. Before you got Yuki, you were talking about getting Yuki, and Tom, you were very concerned about the hair at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had a husky, and we were warning you. There's about to be a lot of hair.
Yeah.
So
hair don't quit.
What's it like being a dog dad?
Besides the hair, it's great. I love the dog. Although we've spoiled the dog because and this is my fault, but she expects a treat after doing everything.
It is Tom's fault. I used to be anti-treat.
Because when she meets me at the door, she's super excited.
My 5-year-old's the exact same way. I get it.
And then I was, sweeping up the hair yesterday. It's just and she. It's mandatory now that she's on the bed 24/7 when we're trying to go to sleep.
I saw your picture the other day. She
Yeah.
was sneaking on the bed.
We ended up getting a white comforter because our other one was black, and the hair's still there, but at least we don't have to see that it's there.
Yes.
No, but it's just it is what it is. But I think the 3 things I would change is I would have her not molt ever because it's just awful. Not sleep on the bed, or at least understand that you've had 5 minutes now, bugger off. And what's the other thing? Oh no, just that's it actually.
Do you wake up like with the in your beard, the hair in your beard?
Could do, yeah.
Well, when he cuddle, Tom is acting kind of cold right now about Yuki. He is lovey-dovey to Yuki.
He's putting up a front.
He is.
Okay.
He really is, because he is super lovey-dovey cuddly with Yuki.
I've seen the videos. Yeah.
But yeah, if we're laying around in bed or whatever naked, I don't have to pick pieces of hair off Kaylee.
Oh, it's bad. I mean, I get it, guys. We got the Husky and the German Shepherd.
Losing battle.
People are like, they always tell me, you should get a Roomba. I'm like, the Roomba would go about 2 feet, and I would have to replace
Well, we've thought
the
about
filter.
that too.
Hey, I just have a sign that says dog hair is part of the decor, so take it or leave it.
Amen. Amen, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't ever wear socks.
Oh, no. Yeah, no.
Or like the black leggings.
Or black clothes at all.
No,
Yeah.
and then I don't really.
I will
feel
say I've traveled with her for 2 years and still never really invested in a lint roller. I just own it. I'm just a crazy dog hair lady.
I respect that. Do you have the Furminator?
Yeah.
Yes, we do have the Furminator.
It helps.
Yes.
It helps.
It helps
but
for like a
doesn't-
second and then,
Agreed.
yeah.
There's never a point that she's good.
I
But I will say I kind of like Because you can literally go like this and like
Pull the tufts.
Yeah. I kind of like it.
I'm with you. It's kind of like a little
Yeah.
strange. So it's
And
like
the
picking a
dog
pimple
hates it.
almost.
Yeah, it's like, the people that like pimples. It's like, I like it.
And the dog hates it. Yes, Leo hates it.
I used to have a chocolate Labrador, and the hair would go grey, so it would you knew where he was molting. Whereas with Yuki, you could brush that same spot 20 times and go back and still pull out
make it
tufts. No, it's bizarre.
We got Leo groomed for not the first time, but a few weeks ago because unfortunately we had fleas, which was a nightmare. I'd never prayed that.
Tom already warned me about
on
it.
you
They're
guys.
super bad in Florida.
It was
Yeah.
a nightmare. They have never had fleas before. I've had dogs forever. It was the first time, but we got him groomed, and he didn't shed for like 2 weeks after getting the grooming. It was beautiful because
Yeah.
they do the
Yeah.
the de-shedder, but like it's so expensive, and I'd have to
It
do
is
it every
so
2 weeks.
expensive.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I'm like, no
every
thanks.
week.
I'll just deal with the hair.
And at least though, when I took her to in Tennessee, it would be all day, and I was like, I don't like her being with the groomer all day.
Yeah.
It's an all-day job.
It
with
is.
so much hair.
They
No,
were
it is.
there
I
all
went
day.
in one time, and the little studio that she had that she did it in, it was just like her own business. It looked like it snowed. It was.
Yep.
I mean, it was
Snow globe.
everywhere.
Do they have a special machine for that then?
Well, they do like a blowout.
And it takes hours
Yeah.
to dry them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't dry.
Oh, and they stink.
They stink,
too.
yeah. It's funny because as soon as they're dry, I'm like, oh, you smell so good. I'm like, why did you smell so bad when you were wet? Wet dogs are real.
Do you guys have a pool at the new house?
No.
It's good because Leo, we had to ban from the pool.
Well, Yuki's a scaredy cat.
Really?
She don't like anything
No, she doesn't like
except for
water.
mommy and daddy.
All right, you got one?
I do. So, Mr. Tom, you are from Britain.
I am.
What is the biggest culture shock? You've been here for a while, on and
Yeah.
off. And what was the biggest culture shock when you first came here?
To be honest, now the culture shock is when I go back home.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
us Brits like unnecessary suffering. Everything just seems extra hard, and unless I've just become really bougie over the years of being in America, but everything is easy here. It's accessible. I don't know. The weather definitely plays a part in it too. Like it's always grey. It's wet. It's drizzly. It's just I don't know. I love the UK, but no. No, I think moving here at first was one, driving, because I didn't drive. I was 24 years old when I'm 23 or 24, and in the UK you don't. Everything is you can either walk to things or you get a bus or a train. Okay. And so I didn't. It's an expensive thing to do as well, and so I didn't drive until I got here. So I needed to drive real quick because obviously I couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So driving was the first thing, but at the same time it was great because it wasn't like the UK where you've got to go through mountains of tests and this and that and really prove your worth. You just drive around a car park at 15 miles an hour here and they go, there's your license.
That's what they do in
mad.
Tennessee.
Amazing. I was going to say I'd never get my license otherwise. But other than that, it was... because I was also, I got signed to WWE and I was in the developmental system, so that was a shock too, and sort of figuring out where I fit, how it worked.
You said protein bars at the gas stations.
But that
Really?
was a good thing, meaning that in the UK you couldn't get sort of egg whites in a carton, you couldn't go to a gas station and get protein bars. I don't know, like all those little things that you can do here that you don't think about just didn't exist over there at that time. It's gone quite more American
Yeah,
now.
now you can.
But I mean, I was very shocked when I came here and went into 7-Eleven. I was like, "You can buy a protein bar here? Whoa!"
What is this?
Because the most I can get in that one in the UK is a sandwich and a packet of crisps and a newspaper. So the fact it was crazy. But I think the whole thing was sort of a culture shock. The only saving grace was it's an English speaking country, so that I didn't have to juggle another language. Sure. But just the whole thing was very, very different. But now when I go home, now I really do. I don't like it. I love seeing my friends and my family. Yeah. I love British chocolate. I love the NHS, the healthcare system, because it's free. And that's pretty much it. Other than that, America, baby.
Yeah, you've adjusted well to the U.S.
I also love British chocolate. You brought Nick some home
Oh, my
last
goodness.
time.
Life-changing.
And, oh,
Yes.
it was amazing.
Yeah, I end up eating all mine really quick, and then I end up going
Down
into
the plane.
Staley's.
The one with the-
Staley.
I go to Staley's Cash.
Staley.
I'm at Staley's Cash. Staley's Stash.
There we go.
There we go.
Have you gone into mine?
No, but that's generally what I do.
I'm gonna hide it better.
Put
Not
lock and
happening
key
yet.
on
I've still
that.
got
Get
one or
safe.
two bits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get a safe.
Yes.
Because I'm very good about
Rationing.
rationing
Not
right
me.
now.
Not
me
me.
neither.
Yeah,
No.
we're the same
What is
person.
that? Rationing in our house.
I want it all now.
Yeah.
I want it all yesterday.
Right. Me
Bad.
too.
I don't care if I can't breathe and I'm gonna throw up.
Yep.
I'm gonna eat it. That's
Yep.
Nick's
It's worth it.
That's only for binge days.
Yeah. We have a lot of those.
We're
Yeah.
we're tangent a little bit, but we're gonna start doing some food challenges on YouTube. So I think
oh,
you
yeah. We need to do.
Like, we're gonna need to
definitely.
set that
I'm
up.
in.
There's some good spots
Yeah.
around here. We'll
I'm in.
definitely.
I'm
two
in.
we can watch, okay? Or we can eat. I don't care.
I'm in.
I
Let's
won't
definitely do
win.
that.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I
Definitely
won't.
do
But I'll eat, and they can eat big.
Okay, we'll eat with
I'll
them,
eat
just not.
normal.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So speaking of delicious food, what is if you could have any cheat meal, what would it be for both of y'all?
I usually always go with the burger and fries. To be honest, just a good because
Pretty nice.
and the thing is, to me, it's a pretty good cheat meal.
Yeah.
Because you got your protein and you got your carbs and you got your fats. It's obviously just a little bit higher in fats and stuff. But I don't feel bad after it. Like especially if I've been eating really healthy, I actually feel really good after it. But if I'm feeling like super crazy, I love pizza, but it has to be rare. Like, cause I feel bad after pizza. I feel good during.
Do you have
Yes.
a favorite burger and fries?
So I found a place here, Jimmy Hula's.
Oh,
I've heard of it. Never been.
Oh
It's
man,
good, yeah.
Is it?
yes.
Okay.
And well, because it's you would think they have like fish tacos and stuff like that. Like I don't know, you wouldn't really think of a burger, but I just ordered it randomly. It used to be BurgerFi.
Yeah.
The CEO was
Yeah.
my go-to with like,
Yeah, that's
one's
my
good.
favorite.
yeah,
Yep.
CEO. But no, I think I have a new favorite. I might go back to the CEO eventually, but as of now, it's I don't know, it has like avocado on it, but
Like writing down our double date.
Yeah,
nights.
Yes,
yeah.
definitely.
Okay.
That's our next place.
and Cajun fries.
Oh,
Yes.
you had
They
me.
had these fries there. They're very strange.
They're called. Well, it's spelled Mojo, but it might be Moho.
It's
I
some
don't know.
seasoning. It's very
It's
bizarre.
weird. But it's like one of those flavors where it's like I don't know if I like this or not, so you keep eating it.
Well, it's a Hawaiian place, right? Jimmy Hula's.
I don't know, like tropical. I'd say.
Yeah, because Mojo is like however you pronounce it. That's like a Hawaiian dish. as
Maybe
well.
I don't know, but it was like a sour. Would you say almost? Like I don't know. It had like this tang to it.
Yeah, it has this very strange aftertaste, and you're like, it's a bit like Marmite, I guess. I mean, you're like, "Well, do I like this or not?
Yeah, but so you just keep eating
But
it.
you do, yeah,
I
because
gotta
you're trying
find
to,
out.
you're
Yeah.
right, and you
Yeah.
still never find out.
I'm
Yeah.
sold. The mystery has sold me. Yeah.
I'll try it. I'll try it. What about you, big man? What's yours?
I don't know. It's changed a lot over the years. I don't really have anything set now like you would. Again,
Chocolate.
I would chocolate, yeah. But I do like. I did like the sushi that we had. Like I feel like that will be something that I will keep doing until it gets very boring
Yeah,
and you
sushi's another
refuse.
good cheat.
Yes,
Like,
absolutely.
But it's not my. It wouldn't be my number one. So I don't know. It goes. It goes in stages. It depends. What I mean. Sometimes I'd be happy with just a bunch of crappy ice cream and a pizza, stuffed crust pizza from.
I do love me a stuffed
What's
crust.
what is it? Little Caesars.
Little Caesars is underrated.
Oh, heck yeah, it is.
Very plasticky, but
I'll fight through it.
Right, me too. Me too. But yeah, I mean, it can be anything and everything, really. I'm more of a sweet guy.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. So, going from kind of the cheat meal food to the more health food, you have a deal with Chicken Pound.
I do.
Let's talk about that.
Here's some chicken pound that I made earlier.
Oh.
No, I'm only joking.
Oh, okay.
It's just a bag. Sorry, Nick.
I thought he brought me food and he just brought me a bag.
I ate all the balls as I was on the way here.
Chicken meatballs. Those look good.
They are very good. For me, I am bone idle. I'm lazy. And that means that I like my meat cooked, frozen, and delivered to my door. So that I can just nuke it in the microwave because I nuke everything in the microwave. If it can't be made in the microwave, even though I'm a qualified chef, I don't want it.
Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah. That's what
Really?
he went to college for.
Really?
It was my fallback on.
Yeah, he's made me a meal one time.
My parents said, Tom,
One time.
have something to fall back on because the wrestling won't work out. So I did.
I have lots of questions on that, but I don't want to take away from chicken pound.
But no,
Chicken
yeah,
pound.
chicken pound. They I think there's like, I don't know, 20 flavors or something. But they, you go online, order them, they ship them to your door. They do chicken
I really
meatballs
like
now.
the balsamic.
They are all very, very good. And yeah, it's easy. That way I can just, weigh it out, microwave it. Jobs are good. And so, and if you want 10% off, the discount code on that is Latimer.
Latimer.
Also will be in the comments below.
Yeah, in the comments for sure. Awesome. The only other one I had is you guys have, obviously been around the world through wrestling and through other means. Is there any place where you haven't been that's kind of a bucket list that you'd like to visit one day?
We've talked about Egypt.
Ooh.
Yeah, Egypt I would really like.
That's an expensive trip if you want to really
Do
go
it
into
right?
it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do it right. It's pretty-
Australia.
I'm not interested in Australia.
Have you not been?
No.
It surprises me.
I know, me
To
too.
me, Australia.
There's a lot of things that can kill you there.
Yeah, but I don't know. To me, it just seems like America with accents.
True.
And I'm actually in the talks
Hopefully
right
that
now.
doesn't offend our Australian fans.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Comment, comment
giant-
why I'm wrong.
And giant spiders
Yeah,
that can eat you.
spiders,
That's
yeah.
all I think of when I think of Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And kangaroos.
Yes, I want to see a
Jacked
kangaroo.
kangaroos.
Oh, and the koalas
Yep.
can give you chlamydia.
Well,
I'm learning
There you
so
go.
much
this
today.
is not a travel ad for Australia. We're not putting Australia over. But
Yeah,
Egypt, that's cool. So
Egypt.
why Egypt?
I'm into my aliens.
Yeah, I
and
would say there's
conspiracies.
a lot of
Okay.
cool woo-woo stuff
Yeah,
there.
the pyramids.
Yeah, and then I'm actually talking right now to someone that's got a TV. They're filming 12 episodes of wrestling TV in Chile.
Oh, cool.
So I'd like to go there. It's just obviously if the money's right.
Of course.
But yeah, I'd like to go. I mean, for me, it's anywhere. I'm happy going anywhere, especially a place that I've not been. I've been looking to go to Japan and Pakistan and places like that. And I just think that that's one of the. You might not get to see a lot of it because obviously you're wrestling, you're in an airport, you're traveling. But being able to go to these places on someone else's dime, that's a winning formula.
Heck yeah.
Couldn't agree more with that.
Is that it, Kaylee? I thought. What about Thailand?
Well, I had a trip planned to Thailand actually.
We
for
were
us this
supposed
year.
to go to
Thailand and Laos because they have ethical elephant sanctuaries over there, and my favorite animals, elephants, and I just couldn't wait. But I had to cancel it. Actually, I paid after cancellation fees. I paid $1,500 for a trip I never took.
To cancel it, yeah.
Yeah, so that was super fun.
You
Okay,
live
so we
and
need
learn.
to rebook that
Yeah.
Eventually,
eventually.
We start a GoFundMe for Thailand.
Oh,
trip.
and I like to go to Antarctica too.
don't.
Go where?
Antarctica.
Oh.
Antarctica. So that is a popular trip right now.
No,
Did you-
no, you're not allowed to go unless you're a.
Oh, I want to go
scientist.
see the Northern Lights.
No, there is a trip. My friend at work just did it, 2 of them, and you can take a boat across the Drake Passage to Antarctica,
really?
and it's all penguins, basically, thousands and thousands and thousands of penguins. You can cold plunge off the boat into the water, and then you kayak through the ice caps as well. No, for real, I'm gonna. find
Oh, I
some
was thinking
information
of.
for you.
I thought you meant like Alaska or something, because that's another place
I
I'd
don't
like
like
to
being
go
cold.
too.
Yeah.
I don't like
I
being
like
cold
warm.
either, but I.
But I would go to Finland and be one of those icicle.
Yeah,
I mean, not
oh,
what,
absolutely. And
igloo.
the hot
I mean,
springs
and,
and
yeah,
yeah.
and see the Northern Lights.
Very cool. That's a bucket list thing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, where can we follow you guys at?
Keep up with you.
Yeah.
I am on Instagram at Kamille with a K Brickhouse, and on Twitter at Kamille_Brick.
Awesome.
Don't follow me on Facebook because that's for friends and family.
And creepers.
And creepers, yeah.
Yeah.
And you can follow me at on Instagram at Thomas_Latimer_. Twitter, the same thing, Thomas_Latimer_. I have a Facebook too. I think it's some. Doesn't matter what it is. I can't think right now, but it's a like page. And then what else?
I got rid of mine because people be feeling real bold on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
True. And the
Hatchet.
TikToks.
No, we don't have a TikTok.
No, I would be on my phone all day if I had a TikTok.
That's a
So
good
I
move.
was
It's a black
like,
hole.
yeah, I was like, friends,
too old
friends
for
send
that.
them to me. So that's my extent of TikTok.
There you go.
Hatchet Pro Wrestling on the internet.
NWA.
NWA on the CW app. And then, Chicken Pound, use my code Latimer.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think that's about it. I feel like I'm probably missing something, but are we missing anything here?
Yuki.
Yes.
Is it Yuki the Service Akita?
Yuki the Service Akita, I believe.
Yeah. If you like dogs.
We can tag everything in the comments. It's okay if you forget. We got it.
Yuki's awesome. And I actually do have one more follow-up question. We talked about Antarctica and jumping off and doing a plunge.
Uh-oh.
You know, guys, that we have a cold plunge right over there. Have you ever done one?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Okay. Have you done one?
Not to the level this probably is.
Okay.
Didn't we do something a while back where we
Oh,
rented
yeah, but
a-
that wasn't super cold. Yeah, it was an Airbnb, and you could add on like a sauna cold plunge experience.
It was pretty cool.
It was very relaxing. But that one wasn't. It was cold, but it wasn't like the cold plunge that I went. That was a cold plunge. It was much colder.
How long do you have to stay in it, Nick?
Well,
So-
Nick has crazy rules, so
Usually it's 4 minutes max.
What I heard it was 3 minutes max.
Nick does 5.
I do it for 5 because I'm about that life. But you guys can only do as much as you want.
Are we going to film this for this podcast?
I think we should.
I mean, we can.
I think we should.
Chris is here all day.
Yeah, this would be a great filming. So,
Yeah,
Dude,
if I ev-
hey, have you seen the one that Stone Cold just did?
yes.
Yes.
So good.
Yep. So, I mean, I get in it
Did he sell
quicker
it?
than he does.
He
So, like,
super sold it. Oh,
Yeah.
he oversold it.
I think I might oversell it.
so if you
No,
can
but
get
it
in
was
it
very
quick,
Stone
you're tougher than
Cold-ish.
Stone Cold. Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
You get in
He
it quick.
takes a good couple minutes to get in.
Yeah,
And then he dips in and then he gets right out and he was like,
Yep.
I think he might have used the words that we talked about earlier.
Yes, a lot of
Yes.
Does your head go under the water?
It
It
can.
doesn't need to.
It
I
can.
do, but it doesn't need to. So we'll
I do
get it all.
not.
I'll coach you through it. We'll get it.
I'm nervous.
You guys, we love you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you
love
guys
you
so
guys.
much.
Thank you. We're so glad you're here. Thank you for coming on the
Well,
podcast.
we love you both very much. Thank
Absolutely.
you for having us.
Absolutely, anytime. So thank you guys, champions, for joining the podcast of champions. Thank you so much for our guests once again. We look forward to the next time we see y'all. Until then, be great, be excellent, show love, and go make a difference today, champions. Love y'all.
Go mad.